So, welcome along everyone to a fabulous evening in the centre of Looseville, in the centre of the UK. I do hope you're all keeping well, guys, and absolutely fabulous to see you all pouring in to do our fabulous loose watercolours this evening. So, I do hope you're keeping well. Me and the Loose Gang brushes are doing fabulous at the moment, thank you. Really well, and we're enjoying our painting during this cold season. So it always keeps you nice and fresh and alert when you're trying to create something. So it's really good for the mind as well as your little fingers along with your brushes. So as we customarily do each week, guys, we're going to say hi to anyone who puts a little message on the message board. So please just put your name on there and a little message, or just your name, or even a little thumbs up, and you too will be introduced to the world of loose watercolour friends who are on this evening. So let us see who's first in to join us, and it is, it's Barbara. Welcome along, Barbara. Good to see you there. And Barbara is a fabulous supporter and loose painter, and her catchphrase is "Let's paint." So it says it all, everything it does on the can. Just let's not think about it too much. Let's throw the paint down and create some beautiful creations together. So great to see you, Barbara. Hope you're keeping well, and thanks so much for dropping by this evening. And Clive's popped in this evening from Ottawa, and sunny, but still lots of snow on the ground, so a combo of the two. But only water and muffins for today's picnic snack. So Clive always has a snack of the week, and this week he's gone for something very lean down the middle. Water, that's delicious, and muffins, even more delicious. So great to see you, Clive. Great of you to drop by, and look forward to seeing your fabulous painting a little bit later on. And Sharon is with us from southeast Queensland. Good to see you there, Sharon. It's windy and cool. Nice relief from the heat wave, and a little bit of wild wind as well. So hope you're keeping well over there in the heat there, Sharon, but fabulous to see you and for you to join us. And I know it's early in the morning for you, so thanks extra special for getting up this early. So good to see you. And Hillary is with us. Welcome along, Hillary, from Eastern Pennsylvania. A little bit chilly but sunny, but she sends everyone a greetings, and we send them all back to you with a little bow. So good to see you, Hillary. Welcome along. And Karen is with us, and Karen is waiting anxiously. Don't be anxious. Call anxious excited, and that's a better way to approach it. If you're in trepidation at all about painting, you'll be fabulous. So good to see you, Karen. Have fun, and we'll chat later. And Helena's with us. A big wave there. Great to see you, Helena. And take a look at Helena's work. Absolutely fabulous, guys. She's flying, absolutely flying. So do take a look. Absolutely beautiful work. And Leslie's with us. Good to see you there, Leslie. And yes, this is going to be a nice cute one this evening, so I think you'll enjoy this one, and it's going to tie in nicely. Excuse me. Going to tie in nicely, if I don't choke a little bit there, do apologise, with Valentine's Day, which is coming up in a few days' time. So this gives you a good chance to prepare a fabulous painting. So good to see it there, Leslie. And Jan is with us from the Blue Mountains in Australia, and it's cool and cloudy, but rain a bit later. So varied weather, Jan. But any weather's good weather for painting, you know that. So do take a look at Jan's work. Beautiful work there, beautiful work. And Nancy's with us from Windy Day in Ottawa. Excuse me. Do excuse me. Blimey. Okay. Let's have a little rest. Okay, we're okay. Right, good to see you there, Nancy, from Ottawa. Beautiful wintry day in Ottawa. and you're recovering from surgery, so do wish you well on that and sending our best regards for a speedy recovery there. And JP Campbell 100 is with us from Hershey in PA, Pennsylvania, would that be, guys? So welcome along. And Jean is with us, welcome there. And Peter's with us, good to see you there, Peter. Not seen you for a while, but Peter's new to painting, guys, but do take a look at his work because he's absolutely flying along at the moment. An absolute star of stage and screen. So welcome along, Peter. And let's have a little look. A few more guys. Hello there from Chile, Florida, from Rhodey. Welcome along. And Catherine is with us. Good to see you there, Catherine. And from Vienna this evening. Very beautiful place there. Good to see you as well. And Jill is with us from Toronto. And happy to join from Toronto as well. So a lot of people always join us from Toronto, guys. Beautiful. Must be a loose city over there. Absolutely fabulous. And Marcella, welcome along. Okay, guys, I'll get over my coughing fit because we don't need that. That's better. I'll tell you what it was, guys. I had a little bit of cake, sneaky bit of cake before we started. But anyway, that's not relevant to watercolours. What is relevant is what we're going to do tonight, which is called Heart of Flowers. So as I mentioned in the little chat there, the relevance is to Valentine's Day, which is on the 14th of February. So a day to show your love for a loved one, and this could make a fabulous card. So almost, just before we start, that's just reminding me, if you're doing this as a card, think about it as a folded card. So you get a bit of your watercolour paper that we're going to work on, which is £140 cold press smooth paper. That's what we're working on tonight. Get a bit of that, but then consider folding or how you will fold it. So the picture will be on the front and then the fold will go around the back with the fold on the left hand side. So if you're given enough space for that, so it doubles over, if you follow what I mean, you can make it into a card straight away. So absolutely perfect thing to do right at the beginning of your painting there. So cough gone. We are ready to rumble, guys. So if you're ready and you're painting along, let's get to it. So here is our little drawing, but the drawing is going to grow a little bit bigger so we can see what we're doing there. And that is quite a detailed drawing, but we don't need to draw all of that. And I tell you why. I'm going to show you just very simply what we need to do is the basic structure to that shape. And then we're going to throw the flowers and the leaves on and just build it up gently. Now all of these are going to turn out a little bit different because of the brushes we use, the way we apply the paint, thick, thin, all this sort of thing, the way they bleed, so they will look different. So don't go too closely on mine, just use it as a little general rule of thumb, middle of the road way of doing it, and you can express yours in any way you like. Okay, so if you're ready, guys, I think my throat's ready, even better. Let's get to it. So the drawing there is more or less fits within a square. I'm not going to actually draw the square out, but that just keeps the parameters nice and okay. We've got Peter the propelling, fabulous little pencil. Hold him about halfway, guys, like that. Nice and loose, don't grip him too tightly, because he squeaks. I've noticed it myself. Right, now a heart shape is basically a symmetrical shape. One side looks exactly like the other, just flipped over. So I'm going to start with a simple line down the centre. So it starts there, comes down to about there. Yeah, that's okay. Keep it nice and in the screen. And just a very basic little line. Now it's very light, you can hardly see it. I'm sure you can't see it on screen, but rest assured there is a little line just there. So that's the centre. This is the top of the heart, just there. So we're going to decide how far out we go. Let's go to about there and there, and it's going to curve around and come back down to the point at the bottom. Now the only other dots, we've got a couple of dots there, one there, and that shows us how far the V shape at the top of the heart dips in. Let's go to about there. And we've basically got a shape like that. It goes out and down, but we want to make that nice and curved. So let's just put some dots on a curve that hit this bottom, but I want it to go a slight curve like that, a bit more ornate. So let's practice the shape. There it goes, up, round and down. So let's put a few dots along that little road work. Okay, so you see what we're doing, up and round. So we start there, gently up, doesn't have to be a solid line. Yeah, so there's our little heart shape, you see? Yeah, little dint there, nice curve there, little drop down there to the bottom. Okay, let's go the other way. There's the top, so where are we going? To about there. Little dots here, just curving round. Now before we draw it, let's just have a little look, see if that equals up to a nice shape. Yeah, about there. Okay, so we're going across, curve round, down, and then a little curve at the bottom. Okay, there's our little heart shape. Beautiful, nice and lightly drawn. We don't want to press on too much, but that's just the shape we need. Okay, remnants of cake are almost gone, guys. A quick update. Right, good. Okay, now then, all I'm going to do is put a few little splodges or little circles. I'm just holding the pencil like that, not gripping it at all, just holding it like that. I'm going to drop a few little splodges on and slightly more towards the top. They don't have to be exactly on the line. Yeah, they can just be slightly in or out. We'll shake it all about. Do the okie dokie and you turn around. That type of thing. So these are our little flowers. Yeah. So you see we're decorating this line. Then that's all I want to do, guys. Actually, that's all I want to do. As simple as that is, I don't want to do any more because this really is all in the paintwork. And just a quick thing, just while we're here, I'm going to use a little bit of pen work as well, and I'm using a sepia 0.7mm sepia ink pen. Yeah, so anything you've got will be good. Sepia is less harsh than a black pen. Yeah, so it's nice old antique looking. You can get those off the internet quite easily. That's where I got mine from. So if you want to get one of those in the future, that could be useful for you. Right, okay. So please do, sorry about the coughing guys tonight, really my apologies. While you're completing that, but don't do too much. Ah, exactly, Janet, good point, yes. It's like teaching a letter, so this is almost like the letter 2, yeah? So up, down and round, and it would be straight across. So great point there, Janet, ideal, so we'll drop that in. Right, okay, so while you're still drawing, guys, and like I say, don't do too much, don't overspend yourself, have a bit of cake, have a cup of tea, while we show you the colours. So let's just move that over for you, shrink it down. Hi there, Jilly, good to see you. I wondered where you were. We did phone, I did call round, but you were too busy preparing for tonight's show. Right, okay, so colours we're going to be using are these, and we've got them on the little board there, or the little palette. Let's show you with little mini Dave. Colours we got are, you don't need all of these colours, and if you've not got the exact colours, don't worry, just use something fairly similar, or limit your palette, don't use as many colours. So, we've got, in no particular order, turquoise, which is a bluey green. We've got rose opera, which is a light pink. We've got royal blue, which is a light blue. Cerulean blue is equally as lovely. We've got a bit of cobalt blue, cadmium orange, yeah. Alizarin crimson, which is a dark red. We've got sap green. We've got violet or mauve. We've got a bit of lemon yellow. And we've got a bit of burnt sienna, yeah. And also I mentioned on there about the ink pen, which is Sid the sepia pen, there he is. He's a sepia colour. He's 0.0 in width. Right, okay. Whew. Coughing fit. No more cake, Clive. No more cake for me. Right, okay, the brushes I'm going to use are Mini Dave. There he is. And we've got Miss Rigger as well. So Mini Dave's a small dagger brush. And we've got Miss Riggo's a large rigger brush. So they're available. I think they might be in a click link below. So just follow the link there and we can sort you some of those out. But in the meantime, we're about ready for takeoff, guys. So let's bring up a nice little coloured image for you. There it is. I'll need to put it somewhere out of the way a bit. It's just a small aide de memoire. There it is. Yeah, maybe down there. That's good, good, good. Hi there, welcome Cindy. Good to see you there, Cindy. Welcome along. And a Valentine's Day heart indeed. You'll be fabulous at this. I know you will. Right, okay, guys. Colours ready. Mini Dave all ready to rumble. Let's get going. Okay, what we're going to do for a start are the flowers, yeah? But all I want you to do is keep them really, 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 really simple, yeah? So I don't want you to be painting a flower shape. I just want you to use the brush organically just to place them roughly along the line of the heart shape that we've used, okay? So as I said at the beginning, in between my coughing, we're just going to build this image up in that fashion by placing the flowers down, placing the leaves down, joined together with the stems. Okay, let's clean that brush for a start. Bit of water onto a bit of tissue. Let's get going. Okay. Right. We're going to start with a little bit of cad orange to a, let's go coffee strength. Yeah, so that's decent amount of water, mixing the end of the line. Notice how I place the colours out in little lines there. Decent amount on Mini Dave. And we're going to try and keep the flowers a bit lighter this side, that's the left hand side, and a bit darker on the right hand side. And that gives us a chance to describe the effect of light. Okay, are you ready? I'm starting here so I can see where I'm going. Right, plonk. There we go. There's a flower. Plonk. Plonk. Yeah. So that little drawing or those little circles I put down for a start are useful to give us a initial suggestion of the size of the flowers. So if you're doing it without drawing, well done. But the thing you'll need to do is just consider the size of the flowers to start with. Okay. And we don't want them, like I said, perfect lines. We want them slightly in and out. So we've got a few on there, a few smaller ones, and don't deluge it with it as well. Otherwise you'll have just flowers all over the place and then your leaves are going to just bleed in a bit too much. So do a few because you can always go back and add a few more. Okay? Right, let's tip and turn that up a bit, guys. Okay, is that any better, guys? Just give us a thumbs up if you can hear me a bit better. So, got the colours on there. Now I'm going to throw in a little bit of pink. So this is again coffee strength. Now I'm putting this generally on the right hand side of the orange I've put down. Okay, little circles. Boom, there we go. Now, what are we doing? Next is a bit of pink. This time we're just doing pink. Can you do that? Of course you can. You are fabulous. Fabulous. So, this time I'm going to add a little bit of alizarin crimson. No, I tell you what. Alizarin crimson, coffee strength. Right hand side. Yeah. And if your colour has sort of covered the area that you're doing individual flowers, just plonk the colour into it, but still put it on the right hand side. Taking a little bit of this alizarin, just walking with it, going over here and adding a few more. Okay, There we go. Dot City, guys. Dot City. Fabulous, Cindy. Thanks for that. Brilliant. Right, okay, so we've got those on. Now, tiny little bit of mauve. Mauve, violet. Just drop a bit of this in. Now, once these, because these are wet, they're going to accept these colours without too much effort. Yeah, there we go. Oh, lovely. Lovely indeed. Right, well done. So we're going to let those do their own thing, but already we're going to put some leaves on. Do you want to do some leaves? Of course you do. You'll be fabulous. Right, the leaves are going to be lemon yellow and a bit of sap green. I'm going to actually take the green over to the yellow. So I'm going to put the lighter tone over on this side, on the left hand side. Yeah? So between the leaves, between the flowers, I'm just going to put a few leaves on. Now, I put mine down with the shape brush. I'm placing them down by putting them down and just moving them slightly forward. I'll show you what I mean. And I'm actually going to try and avoid the flowers a bit if possible, because they're still wet. I like them bleeding in a bit, but you don't have to overdo it, okay? Leaf, dragged across, yeah? Another one. Yeah, so we're just tipping and tapping this on gently. Yeah. Now I'm not trying to follow the curve of the flower or the arrangement. I'm actually trying to keep everything sort of fairly level. So the leaves are coming out this way and this way. So they're not actually following the shape of the flowers, if you get what I mean. If you don't get what I mean, you're with me. I don't get what I mean. Or maybe I do. Right, okay. We'll take some down to there. And again, as with the flowers, don't put too much on for a start. We can very easily go back and add more. So we don't want to concentrate on an area and try and add stuff and then neglect everything else. No, we need to, what I call scooting. It's like going on a scooter, but this time you're going on a brush and we're just moving around it gently, building up the shape. I'm not going to put too many down here because I want to try and finish the branches off just at the bottom, so I don't want it completely covered in leaves. Right, so now we're getting central, and this is where I want to do slightly darker leaves, so it's just sap green. And as I said, good rule of thumb, don't do too many, do a few and you start to get the pattern. And you also start to fill up the area gently. So you can easily go back and say, well, I want one more there, but if you overdo it, you know what I mean. A bit like me over telling you to do that. Right, okay, you're doing good, guys, you're doing good. And pressure on the brush will allow you to make bigger marks or smaller marks. Whatever brush you use, and that will determine the size of the shape of the leaf or the flower. Okay, a couple more just there. And what I'm going to do is get a little bit, well, I'm going to throw a bit of turquoise in as well. So turquoise, bluey green, just throw a few bits of this in. And this is where I'm just extending it slightly, i.e. taking some of these areas of foliage out a bit further than the others. I don't like it too regular, yeah? Yeah. So you can start to see that heart shape starting to flow, yeah? Don't get overexcited, don't start diving in and joining anything together. We don't need that yet. Right, a little bit of cobalt blue. with my green. Always eat your greens, always put a bit of cobalt blue with them. Right, which side was the darkest side, guys? Exactly that one, which means the right hand side. So these are going to have a few darker leaves. Do them sporadically and then go back. Do them sporadically, go and go back. I say that because I know I've said it several times, but even I do it. So I have to almost talk out loud to remind myself to not dwell on an area. Darker leaves, a few dark leaves, you don't want it totally light and dark. Yeah. Need to retain this white in this centre, for that is where it gives us the little heart shape. Okay, really good, guys, you're doing fabulous. Right, greens have bled in, but I like those. Everything's coming down here. Now then, a couple of things we can do, guys, and again I do apologise if I didn't say this earlier, but if you want to, there's a little bit of salt you can throw in. I've only got rock salt, it's like big chunks of I don't know what. So we'll put that on. Then the other thing we can do is get a bit of tissue, scrunch it up, and we can lift a bit as well. So rather never scrape the tissue over this in this fashion, just lightly bobble it over the area, because then it'll pick off little pockets of light. And this is really what you need to do relatively early, while the liquid paint is still liquid. If it's dried, it ain't going nowhere. It's going nowhere. Okay. There you go. So I've picked a bit off, softens it down a bit, gives it a more sympathetic feel. There you go. So the salt, if it's going to do its thing, will be working away as we speak. Right. Miss Rigger has come to join us. Join the band. Well done, Miss Riggs. So Miss Rigger, large rigger brush. If you've got a rigger brush, give it a go. Now they do vary, because if your rigger brush goes to a very, very fine point, they're quite difficult to use. Yeah. So do factor that in. Right. We're going to use a little bit of cad orange for some of the stems. I'm just going to move this slightly to the side, guys, if I may. Hope you can still see it. So we've got, it's a thicker, it's almost cream strength cad orange. Now then, remember where that centre line was. All I'm going to do, I've got some white gaps. I'm just going to put some little lines in along a few of these gaps. Now I'm not just doing one line, and you'll know I do this with quite a few of my floral type things when I'm doing stems. Even if there's just one or two flowers there, I do quite a few more stems. So look how delicate that line is. Just following the line round, but I'm not just going in one direction. Yeah, I'm going out a little bit, but I'm keeping the main line. Sorry, I love trains. Right, just keeping the main line going down where we initially put that line. And it's always worth considering which way is this growing. So I'm suggesting it's sort of looping round and coming down. Now then, down here, yeah, it's coming like that. Now that is cad orange. Now I'm going to use burnt sienna. I'll drop a few burnt siennas in. And notice how I use the brush. I'm not trying to purposely spend a lot of time on these lines. I'm actually just wafting the brush. Let's go for waft. I think Cindy's in charge of the wording. I think we'll go for waft, Cindy. Is that okay? I think that's a good word. So we'll just drag that round. Now then, this I'm going to suggest comes round and joins again just here. Little lines, follow it round. Don't take it too far because you don't want to start chopping into this centre too much. Right, we're off again. Oops, get this way. And it's great if you can, in the early stages, hold some nice white areas, because all we're doing is running through these now and they're quite visible. Take it out to about there. These little sprays of leaves and stuff that are going off, you don't need to join with a line, i.e. you don't have to join to there or there, just leave them floating in mid-air. The imagination will join those to the overall design. Okay, it's quite good fun just skidding round. There's one. Whoa. Bit more, look. You're going well, guys. You are going well. So again, head up, yeah, and look where we're finishing. So we're joining here. This was where the arrangement joined together. So I'm actually going to join it and then go back and just collect a few bits together. Yeah. And I know if you're like me, you'd want to do a big swoopy whirl just there, but no, just restrain yourself a bit and do what we did before, which is to keep an overall eye on the shape, where things are going, and then we can do that at the end. Okay, looking mighty fine, guys, mighty fine, really nice, well done, well done. Okay, salt's done its work on some of these. Now, I'm actually going to take a little bit of cobalt blue, add it to my burnt sienna. Any mid-brown will do. And then on some of these I'm dropping a bit of this colour onto a few of these little lines. Yeah. And the reason for doing the dark lines is because the overall concept is everything's darker, or relatively darker, on the right hand side because of the light coming in this way. Right, okay, beautiful, looking good. Right, let's get back over and do a little bit more. Let's drop some centres in, yeah? So on there I'm going to get some, let's have a little bit of alizarin crimson. Going back with Mini Dave. I'm just going to find a blob and put a bit of a centre in it. Yeah. Most likely they're going to be dry by now. If they're not and they bleed, don't matter. Bit of purple. And really the centre of the flowers, you think because it's a centre, that gives you a sort of a bit of a nudge to think everything's circular. But it doesn't have to be. Put a few down this side as well. We don't necessarily have to do much darker this side. And if your blob is a double blob, and you put a few dots in there, you'll think, oh, there's 3 flowers there. And all you've done is put a dot in the middle. Yeah? Which is interesting. Well, that shows you one of the powers of loose. Bit of pink there, try one there. And even shapes, even bits that are so misshapen, you wouldn't know if they're a leaf or a flower. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Right, looking rather lovely, guys, this is. I would like to receive a card like this. Right, okay. So we've got that on. Now I'm going to get Mini Dave, a little bit of royal blue, because we've not used much of that. Very weak, so it's almost a T strength. There it is, top corner, we're mixing that up. And light is coming this way. So shadow is going to fall here, here, and inside here. Now, you don't have to join this shadow to the arrangement, i.e. where a leaf is, you put it directly underneath. Just give it a bit of distance and then put a little bit of blue. So this is the shadow for this, and you don't have to even echo the shape too much. Just a general, this is a shadow thing will do. Now my blue is a bit away from the leaves. I think they're relatively dry now, doesn't matter. A bit of bleeding would be nice. Yeah. We don't need to bother by going in there and suggesting the shadow. We know there is in the real world, but we don't live there, guys. We live in our imaginary loose watercolour world. Better place, better place. Okay, got that on. That's shadow for this. Now shadow for that. Because the colour is nice and weak, it'll knock back a bit and just add that light shadow flavour to it. Shadow just here. And don't pull the shadow in too much. Just a little bit. And that corner is enough, really. And a few little dobs here, because the light could be cascading this way. Yeah. So I'm just equaling it up there, so I don't want too much heavy, over heavy this side and nothing here. Just take a step back. Mind the dog, the cat or the fish, just take a step back and give an overall, is it balanced? Yeah, that means is it not top heavy one side or the other. Okay, so quite nice guys, quite nice, yeah. Well done. Right, let us move that. Now you continue on that for a little bit, but I'm going to bring back, if I can find it, we'll take that off just for a moment. Let's bring back our drawing. So it just gives us a little bit of a guide. It's not overly necessary, but the way I want you to draw this is loosely. Now I keep saying that word. It really does mean what it says on the can. We don't want to be following round the exact edges of the flowers or the leaves or the stems. What we want to do is hold the pen nice and loosely about central, trying to get too much paint on your fingers, but I'm going to have a little bit of a wash later on. But what we're going to do, hold it nice and loosely and just loosely go around the shape, yeah? So I'm not going to follow that exactly. I'm going to go in and wobble the pencil, or sorry, the pen round it just a bit. So I'll show you what I mean. So there's a flower there, yeah? So you can incorporate a bit of white paper, or you can actually go into the coloured paper just to, let me show you, easier. I'm rattling on. There's a flower, okay? Holding it nice and loose. So it goes in a bit, out a bit, that's it, and a bit in the centre, that's it. So it's not full lines, it's not right to the edge of the colour, it's out and it's in, that's it. Now, because mine's wet, it might get clogged occasionally, so I just tap it onto a bit of normal paper that gets rid of any water on there. Got another one here. And if one's in front of the other, you stop where it gets to. There you go. One here, and work out which you want in front. Let's put this in front on this one, little one. That's it. And again. Yeah. Bit in the centre, yeah, and a bit there. So doing less works a lot better. It allows the eye to pick up the general shape, but not the specific one. I'll try to keep my hand out of the camera's way. You don't have to do all of them. And again, as I said, when we're painting them, just do a few, and then go back when you've got a overall view. And the other thing as well is to do them in batches, i.e. do your flowers, do your leaves, do your stems, rather than, again, that isolated area. Yeah, you can do this quite rapidly, but the actual way you hold the pen can be quite useful and important. If you hold it near the end, as you do with the pencils, you'll get detail, and that'll draw you in too much. You'll overthink it. Right, so we've got the little flowers on, and it's only a gentle little bit of information we've put on with the pen. Leaves, yeah. Again, just get a leaf shape. Don't bother too much with the veins on the leaf, just little bits. Again, just do a few and then come back and add a few more. And this really is so liberating and loose. And like I say, you'll be able to create some fabulous individual designs doing this. You really will. Just think about your colouring, i.e. the colours you're going to use. Test them out on a bit of paper, and then just go for it, but build it up in this way. And if you've been following along, obviously painting along as well, you should see how simple this is once you've got this structure. And that's what I'm here for. I want to work out how to do it and then show you guys how to create some fabulous paintings, because I know how much pleasure painting brings. To the untrained eye, to the untrained artists, and you try and describe it, you think, well, it's just putting paint down, but it's not, is it? The journey's in your mind. That's really where everything is. For this and everything else in life, really, but this as well. So when you're drawing a leaf, you think, oh yeah, I'm imagining a leaf and creating that shape and building it up. I'm creating something out of nothing. I'm given flat paint, colour, and I've got to create something, and that brings so much pleasure, indescribable pleasure, literally, you can't tell anybody, but get them doing it, yeah? And also people who've never painted before, or never painted since school, you know, remember that? It was all about, have you done it right or wrong in those days? Now, I'm telling you, what you're doing is right, because it's good for you, and it gives you self-belief, it gives you pride, all of those things that nowadays we need a way of getting some reassurance that we're doing well. This is automatic, okay? So, really good, guys. We've gone around all those. Now a few little leaves. Not leaves, I keep getting the word wrong. It's that cake still. The cake's affected me. Get your pen. Let's do a few stems. Okay, are we ready? So where they go, again, don't just follow the exact line. Just the general shape. And you're only adding to what's already there. You're not trying to line anything in particularly. Just pick out a couple of little bits, that'll be enough. So you're just following the general direction. Yeah. There we go. So we're going right up around that corner, look. Ooh. Fantastic. My word. So also now we've got the ink work on, we've actually got, you can see the shadow jumping out a little bit more, and that just makes it pop off the page. Yeah. So, beautiful, guys, looking beautiful. So we've not done anything with petals, we don't need to, they're quite small anyway, but lifting off some of the paint earlier and also the little bit of salt there, that's really added a nice little effect. So simple that you look, watch this back, because it's going to be available until lunchtime tomorrow, yeah, but then it will be on our respective sites after that. But just look how we did. We put a blob down. Absolutely. And then what happened? We put a greens down. They bled in a bit. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And then we put our little stems down. We're thinking light to dark. Yeah, so we're building that into the picture. So those little things really make a difference. Really do. So we've got all that on, guys. Now then, you can do a little bit of flickage if you like. If you've never flickaged before, this is going to be a big day for you. This is Miss Rigger. We're going to use a little bit of pink. So let's just show you that. Miss Rigger, bit of pink, coffee strength, yeah. And we just gently have a bit of flickage, not too much. So put your finger down, you're going to hit the metal bit, reverse your finger rather than your nail, you don't want that. Oh, your nails look lovely, but you don't want to damage them. So then you just hit it like that, spray comes off, that's it. There you go. A few little bits, oh yeah. And what it actually does is it gives a bit of movement, it gives a bit of width. Yeah, there we go. And that's it. That is your little flickage. Interesting, that's quite nice effect. We've got the blue, royal blue, light blue, still wet, and some of the pinks jumped into that and bled. Now then, in the normal world, people will say, oh, you can't do that, that doesn't look fab. Well, I think it does. So that's what you've got to do. You've got to sit back sometimes. The only question you need to say to yourself, do I like that effect? Do I like what's happened? And if you do, that's all that matters. Then do it. Yeah? Nobody can tell you what to do in art. Really can't. Right. If you want to, a bit of water on your ringer, you can just run a little bit over some of these dots, and that splays them out of it. So you've got a mixture of splats and splots. Eh? You didn't think you'd do that on a Monday? Splats and splots. Right, okay guys, I think we've about completed the painting. Don't overdo it, underdo it. Now then, you can sign this with your name, but also, if this is going to turn out to be a nice little Valentine's card, you can sign it with who you're sending it to. You can put a little message on there. Keep it short and sweet. There won't really be room in there, so I'd say down the bottom or over the top, look, at the top. But have a little think about what you want to put on it. I'm just